Everyone is part of a bigger story. It's a bigger story than you can imagine. It's a big story about a really big God. Discover the story that shows you the character of God.
Hey, I'm Caleb, and this is my Bible. Yo, it's 66 books that fit together to form one big story of how God created us. And he loves us so much that he has given us everything that we need to live a joyful life. He even gave us his very own son, Jesus. When we learn to be okay with what we have, we discover true contentment. And I have 4 stories to show us what it looks like when someone chooses contentment and when they don't. We get started way in the New Testament, in the book of Philippians. There we go. Okay, here, the Apostle Paul shares with the believers in Philippi what he's learned about choosing contentment. I have learned to be content no matter what happens to me. I can do all this by the power of Christ. He gives me strength. Now, when Paul says he's content no matter what, you gotta remember, the man has been put in prison, he's been stoned, robbed, whipped, betrayed by his own people, and even shipwrecked. Whew. Now let's take a look at someone in the Old Testament who definitely needs a dose of contentment. Here, King Ahab of Samaria has everything he could ever want, except a nice little veggie garden near the palace. There's just one catch. That patch of land belongs to a man named Naboth, and he's not selling. Instead of taking no for an answer, King Ahab pitches a royal tantrum. And the way he uses his royal powers proves he's the whiniest evil supervillain. Moving back to Exodus, we meet up with the Israelites. God has led his people out of slavery in Egypt and into freedom in the desert. Time to celebrate, right? Except the Israelites, they can't seem to do anything but whine and complain about the lack of a 4-star menu. And when God provides surprise food from heaven, they simply find something new to grumble about. Let's wrap up in the New Testament with another letter from Paul. All right, here, Paul reminds the believers in Corinth that no matter what they've been through, they always have something to give. Brothers and sisters, we want you to know about the grace that God has given to the churches in Macedonia. They have suffered a great deal, but in their suffering, their joy was more than full. Even though they were very poor, they gave very freely. They did more than we expected. Do you ever feel like you don't have much? There's always someone nearby who needs your smile, your words, or even your listening ear. When you choose to be okay with what you have, you've learned the secret of true contentment. And I can't wait to see how it plays out in you and me.
Welcome, Lakeview Kids. For the month of November, we're going to be learning about upcycle, which is roll with what you've got. So we're going to be learning about contentment, about how God can help us be content, about thankfulness and gratitude. And our monthly memory verse for November says, "Then he said to them, watch out. Be on your guard against wanting to have more and more things. Life is not made up of how much a person has." And that comes from Luke 12:15. And our life app for this month says,
Contentment, learning to be okay with what you have.
and our bottom line says,
God can help you to be content.
all right, let's tune in to this week's Bible story.
Hey everybody, I'm Erica, and this is a bicycle! Obviously. This bike has seen better days. The paint's chipped, the gears are rusty, and the handlebars squeak whenever you turn them. If you had a bike that looked like this one, you'd probably be a little disappointed, maybe even a little sad. You'd probably think it was time to get a new bike, but maybe you need to think again. Oh, sorry. Let me explain what I mean. It all starts with contentment. Contentment is learning to be okay with what you have. That means you don't have to be sad about your old bike. You just have to look at your old bike in a new way. You gotta see the potential. Just look. Can you see it? All she needs is a little air in the tires, oil in the gears, and some flash. I don't have to buy a new bike when I've already got everything I need to make this bike feel like new. And that, my friends, is what I call upcycling. Let's do this. Now that's a bike I can be content with. And as you'll learn in today's story, contentment doesn't only work with bicycles, it works with anything. Hear that? Yeah, me neither. I'll see you in a bit.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story inspired by the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verses 11 through 13.
We live in a time where it's really easy to communicate. In 2 seconds, I can send a text to a friend in another state or hop on a FaceTime call with my dear auntie on the other side of the world. But when the Apostle Paul was planting brand new churches, it was not a simple matter for him to stay in touch with the new believers in places he had traveled. Every letter had to be carefully handwritten and then hand-delivered. Plus, travel was often difficult and dangerous. It would take weeks, if not months, for a letter to even arrive. So whenever Paul wrote a letter, he chose the very most important things to say. Every word mattered, including these verses he wrote to the believers at the church in Philippi.
I have learned to be content no matter what happens to me. I know what it's like not to have what I need. I also know what it's like to have more than I need. I have learned the secret of being content no matter what happens. I am content whether I'm well-fed or hungry. I am content whether I have more than enough or not enough. I can do all this by the power of Christ. He gives me strength.
See, Paul wanted the Philippians and us to understand that God can help us be okay in any situation, no matter what we face. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, yeah, that's easy for Paul to say. And that was true. To start off, he was a well-to-do, well-known, respected religious leader with a lot of power. But when Paul met Jesus,
Why are you opposing me?
Who are you, Lord?
Everything changed. Paul's new outspoken beliefs upset both the Jewish leaders who had been his friends and the Greek and Roman leaders who were afraid Paul would cause trouble. Paul himself recorded some of the crazy situations he experienced during his travels. In a letter to the Corinthians, he explained,
I have been in prison. I have suffered terrible beatings. Again and again, I almost died. 3 times, I was shipwrecked. I have been in danger from rivers and robbers. I have been in danger from my fellow Jews and in danger from Gentiles. I have been in danger in the city, in the country, and at sea. I have been in danger from people who pretended they were believers. Often I have gone without sleep. I have been hungry and thirsty.
Now, Paul truly understood what it was like to face difficult situations of every kind. In fact, when he wrote his words to the Philippians about contentment, he was under arrest and couldn't even leave the house. Now, your story is different from Paul's. If you were to tell a trusted friend what you were going through, it might sound something like this.
I've had to wear my same sneakers, even when my friend got a new pair.
I've had to live one place during the week and another on the weekend.
I've had to settle for a movie night even though I wanted a sleepover instead.
I've had to live with a cast on my arm for 2 months.
I've had to sit alone at the lunch table. I've had to miss summer camp because Dad took a job that didn't pay as much.
I've had to eat meatloaf at home when I wanted to eat out.
God knows your story. He knows all the ups and downs you face. He knows what you have and what you don't have. But no matter what happens, God loves you. He's given his only son, Jesus, to make a way to live with him forever. He's provided everything you need to choose contentment. As Paul reminds us, I have learned to be content no matter what happens to me. I am content whether I have more than enough or not enough. I can do all this by the power of Christ. He gives me strength.
The Apostle Paul went through a lot in his life. He'd been hungry, he'd been in trouble, he'd been in prison, but somehow through it all, he knew how to be content. How could he do that? How do we do that? Well, we can find out in the letter he wrote to the Philippians. 2 things. First, Paul wrote, I have learned to be content no matter what happens to me. The key word there is learned. Paul had to learn to be content, and so do we. Just like we learn what 2 + 2 is and how many continents there are. 7, 6, 5. Sometimes learning contentment will come easy, but sometimes learning contentment takes time. You'll learn over time how to adjust your attitude and be okay when you don't have everything you want, and when things don't go your way. The second thing Paul wrote that will help you be content is this. I can do all this by the power of Christ. He gives me strength. When you put your trust in Jesus, you can rely on Him and the Holy Spirit to give you strength when you're not feeling content about something. And that's true if you didn't get what you asked for on your birthday. It's true if you didn't get the part you wanted in the school play or the position you wanted on the football team. And it's true with bicycles! Here's the one thing to remember today. God can help you be content. When you feel sad or disappointed because something doesn't go the way you expect, talk to God about it. Ask Him to help you see your situation in a new way. Could be there's more potential there than you think. I think I'll try out my new and improved bike now. I know, it's going to ride great. But even if it doesn't, I'm going to try and be content. See you next time.
It's review time, Lakeview Kids. First question, true or false? Consideration is learning to be okay with what you have. Is that true or is it false? The answer is false. While it's great to be considerate, we are learning about contentment. So a contentment is learning to be okay with what you have. Next question. Our monthly Bible verse comes from what book of the Bible? Is it A, Acts, B, James, or C, Luke? What do you think it is? The answer is C, Luke. Our monthly memory verse comes from the book of Luke. Next question. What is the bottom line for this week? Is it A, have the attitude of gratitude? B, God can help you be content? Or C, be happy and dance? While A and C are wonderful things to have and fun things to do, the answer is B, God can help you be content. That's our bottom line for this week. Next question. When is it easy to be content? And when is it hard to be content? Answers will vary for everybody, but here are some examples. It might be easy to be content when you are having a great day, having fun, or getting things that you like or want. And it might be hard to be content when you are having a bad day, when you are tired or hungry, or things just aren't going your way. But it really just depends on you and what is easy for you and what is hard for you. Last question. What are some ways that we can learn to be content? Here again are a few examples. You can talk to God and ask Him to help you see your situation differently. You can find the positives in your situation or in your day or in the things that aren't going well. Or you can think on things that you are grateful for or thankful for, even in those times when you just don't feel content. But those are wonderful ways, and I bet you have more. But thank you so much for coming and spending the day with me. Hope to see you all next time. Bye.
Every day I'll choose Jesus, I will follow you. 'Cause there's a world outside that can't seem to make up its mind. It's saying this and that, that and this, everything's changing all the time. You are the light, the truth, the way. So I'll say, hey, every day I'll choose Jesus, I will follow you. Let everything I do honor you every day. I'll trust and obey every word you say, 'cause I know that you love me. I'm following your way every single day. I wanna be who you want me to be. You are the life, the truth, the way. So I'll say, hey, every day I'll choose Jesus, I will follow you. Let everything I do honor you every day. Every day I'll choose Jesus, I will follow you. Let everything I do honor you every day. Every day I can trust you, Jesus. Every day I choose to honor you. Every day I can reflect you to others. Every day I am who you say I am. You are the life, the truth, the way. And I'll follow you every day. I'll say, hey, every day I'll choose Jesus, I will follow you. Let everything I do honor you every day. Every day I'll choose Jesus, I will follow you. Let everything I do honor you I'll know you. Hey, every day I'll choose Jesus, I will follow